The enduring enigma when a princess rode into legend. Have you ever wondered how a single, determined individual can shape the destiny of an entire people for centuries? The Mossi kingdoms, a constellation of powerful states, dominated the Upper Volta region for over 500 years. Princess Yanenga, the legendary matriarch of the Mossi, is said to have done just that. Imagine her, not as a damsel in distress, but as a warrior deciding to take her future into her own hands, or rather, into the reins of her horse. Understanding the Mossi kingdoms requires us to listen closely to the echoes of the past, primarily through rich oral traditions. Prepare to uncover the layers of the Mossi, a civilization whose influence continues to resonate powerfully in the heart of West Africa, even today in the year 2025. Horsepower and destiny. The genesis of a nation. Tradition tells us of a powerful king, Naba Ndega of the Dagomba people, in what is now northern Ghana, during the 12th century. He had a daughter, Princess Yanenga, who was no ordinary royal. She was renowned for her skill with the spear and her mastery of horsemanship, often leading her father's cavalry into battle. Yanenga, yearning for a life beyond the confines of her father's kingdom, decided to venture out. Disguised as a man, she escaped on her magnificent stallion. Lost and exhausted in the wilderness, she encountered a solitary elephant hunter named Rialo. From the union of Yanenga and Riale, a son was born, named Ouedraogo, which means stallion or male horse. Ouedraogo is revered as the true founder of the Mossi people. Strength of their institutions. Section 4, The Palace, the People, and the Protocol, How Mossi Society Rolled. The Mossi kingdoms were not haphazard collections of villages. They possessed a well-defined and hierarchical political and social structure that ensured stability and governance for centuries. At the very top, as we've seen, was the Mugo Naba of Ouagadougou, considered the paramount ruler. Below him were the rulers of other major Mossi kingdoms like Yatenga, Fada Ngurma, and Tenkadogo. Further down the ladder were district chiefs known as Kombemba and village chiefs or Kasemba, forming a clear chain of command. Within the Mugo Naba's court, an elaborate system of ministers and officials managed the affairs of the state. Mossi society itself was also structured, with distinct roles and responsibilities for different groups. Underpinning this entire structure was a deep respect for tradition, customary law, and ancestral veneration. This unwritten constitution, based on age-old practices, provided the glue that held Mossi society together for so long. Section 5. Neighbors, newcomers, and navigating the noise external encounters. The Mossi kingdoms did not exist in isolation. They were part of a dynamic West African neighborhood, interacting frequently with other powerful states and peoples. For centuries, they shared borders and often rivalries with formidable empires like the Mali Empire, and later the Songhai Empire to their north and west. The Mossi, known for their cavalry and fierce independence, successfully repelled numerous attempts at conquest, particularly from the Songhai. A significant aspect of these interactions was the Mossi resistance to Islamization. While many neighboring Sahelian empires such as Mali and Songhai embraced Islam, the Mossi largely retained their traditional religious beliefs. The landscape of external relations began to change dramatically in the late 19th century, with the arrival of European colonial powers, primarily the French. The French officially established a protectorate over the Mossi territories in 1896, effectively ending their political independence. Section 6. The Sunset Clause. When empires face the music. The imposition of French colonial rule in the late 1890s marked a profound turning point for the Mossi kingdoms. Their centuries of autonomy, of being masters in their own land, came to an end. Under French colonial administration, the Mugo Naba and other traditional Mossi chiefs were allowed to retain their titles and some measure of local authority. However, this authority was now derived from and subservient to the French colonial government. The colonial period brought significant challenges and transformations to Mossi society. The introduction of cash crops, forced labor for infrastructure projects like railways and roads, and the imposition of French education and legal systems profoundly impacted daily life and traditional structures. Despite the pressures of colonization, Mossi culture and identity demonstrated remarkable resilience. The language, customs, social structures, and the institution of the Mugo Naba, even in its altered state, persisted. This cultural tenacity ensured that even when their political independence was lost, their spirit and sense of collective identity remained strong. Section 7. Echoes in Ouagadougou, the Mossi imprint on modern Burkina Faso. The legacy of the ancient Mossi kingdoms is not just a historical footnote, it is deeply woven into the fabric of modern Burkina Faso. The very territory of the nation largely corresponds to the historical extent of Mossi influence, and Ouagadougou, the city founded by Naba Ubri centuries ago, remains the vibrant capital. Culturally, the Mossi imprint is undeniable. More, the language of the Mossi is one of the most widely spoken indigenous languages in Burkina Faso, serving as a lingua franca for many. The Mugo Naba of Ouagadougou, though devoid of formal political power in the republic, continues to be a highly influential and respected figure. He serves as a moral compass, a custodian of tradition, and a symbol of national unity that transcends political divides. The story is far from over, it's simply writing its next chapter.